In this video, Carol and I set out on an epic journey from Cape Scott on the far west coast of Vancouver Island all the way across Canada to Cape Spear in Newfoundland, the easternmost point in the country. We'll be traveling in our Overland truck, taking a mix of the Trans-Canada Highway and the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail, covering over 14,000 kilometers, camping along the way and exploring some of the most remote and beautiful places this country has to offer. Around the halfway point, we'll pause for a very special occasion, our daughter Caroline's wedding, before continuing east towards the Atlantic, racing to arrive before winter sets in. But right now, we're at the very beginning, standing on the wild and rugged northwest coast of British Columbia.
This is crazy. It really feels wild out here.
It's not even a park, it's just wild. Check this thing out.
You're kidding me. Wow. White sand beaches.
Good.
Oh my word.
Took a short walk through the beautiful forest, some old growth stuff in there, amazing. And that takes us out to Grant Bay. And you have the beach to yourself. There's one or two tent campers just kind of hanging out. It's such a peaceful, remote beach. It's hard to believe that these places exist. You can hear it, you can see it, it's amazing. So when we first got here, we thought, well, since we're way up at the north of the island, why don't we go to the provincial park? And we did, and you could do that too if you want, but this pretty much gives you the same experience, but even more remote. The beach is just as nice, not quite as big, but just as nice, and the walk through the forest is incredible. So this is the beginning of the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail, and after we enjoy this place for a little while, we're going to be heading all the way south and all the way east, so it's going to be an epic journey. We'll start this journey with a quick dip in the Pacific, and if all goes to plan, we'll finish it by swimming in the Atlantic on the far side of the country. Well, that was an incredible beach. It's so far back there, it's so remote. Obviously not too many people make the long journey back in there on the rough road and everything, but that makes it so you have a beach almost all to yourself. Well, it's just an incredible way to start the adventure trail. It's a little dangerous because that place is so beautiful, you don't want to leave. And we've got a long journey ahead of us, and we have to get back, obviously, for the wedding. So we have to pry ourselves away from that little piece of paradise, but it was great having a swim, and we're all refreshed. Now begins the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail. Let's go. This morning, we were making our way south to the village of Port Alice. We came here with the kids, with the two Jeeps, probably 3 years ago, and there was a full abandoned wood mill there, I guess it was, or a pulp mill or something, and now it's completely taken down, and they're restoring the land, which is amazing. So we continue through the village and head west on logging roads out to another remote beach known as Side Bay. But on the way, we plan to stop at one of our favorite hidden camp spots. This is the spot we camped in the winter with the kids, and some local folks were just relaxing by the waterfall, but we'll camp here tonight and then we'll head out to Side Bay tomorrow, where you can drive on the beach. It's going to be amazing.
So check out this camp spot. Pretty amazing.
Now this camp spot is going to be hard to beat. We're going to open our door and have a waterfall right out the door. Unbelievable.
Golden days drifting far away, light is leaving town. Colors fade, but I'm thinking we stay just for a little while. Let's lose track of time, darling, stay for a little longer while I hold your time. We'll wait, so just rest your head upon my shoulder. Nothing I wait, it's colder, but the days aren't over yet.
It's another beautiful day in BC, and we're continuing our journey out to Side Bay on the west coast of Vancouver Island. There are several logging roads that will get you there, but the best one is clearly marked on the onX off-road app. We are there. I guess this is the way onto the beach. I think we'll follow these tracks and then get up high, because we're not sure where the tide comes in, but we know it comes in quite far. We don't want to be camped in the water tonight. But yeah, we'll find a spot where we see other people have possibly camped in the past, and I think we'll look at the tide charts and get a good idea when it comes in.
You can go back quite a ways too. It kind of levels out. Yeah. You want me to put a rock up in front, or are you good?
I think that's pretty level. We could always dig it, you know what I mean? Pitch and roll. Looks like zeros all around.
Sweet.
Yeah, 4 zeros.
Let's get our chairs and put on a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good morning from the coast. That turned out to be an amazing camp spot last night. We were definitely far enough away from the tide. I think the tide came up to about somewhere about here last night, and then it retreats to where it currently is. So we just fell asleep to the sound of the waves, and some fog rolled in. It was absolutely beautiful. We're gonna spend the day here because it's so peaceful and quiet, and make some seafood. Carol's famous seafood sandwiches.
Beautiful. Nice and flaky.
Leaving Side Bay after a couple of wonderful days of bliss. What an awesome place. So excited to share it with the boys so they can come on their bikes one of these days. But that's a 3-hour drive from the nearest town through, you know, decent, sometimes bumpy, but pretty decent logging roads. And then to get on the beach, you're going to want a high clearance 4x4. The sand is really soft, but definitely drivable, and there's lots of place to camp outside of the high and dry outside of the tide. So now we're heading back to carry on our journey across Canada. Off we go. It's quite the climb. places that are on the west coast of the island, you definitely can't drive between them. You have to go all the way back to the east and take a route south and then go wind your way all the way back out to the west coast. But that keeps them remote, and that's just the way the lay of the land is. I mean, as you saw what we were traveling through, you get yourself into the mountains really quick. But reminds us a lot of New Zealand, kind of the flora and fauna of a rainforest area and the windy roads. It's very nostalgic. Hey guys, we're here in Tofino and we're just driving around town remembering this beautiful place. We spent the winter here in 21 and it was a lot quieter and a lot fewer vehicles, that's for sure, than now. This is a popular place. We're going to a little barbecue joint, I think it's on the beach, called Lil Ronnie's, and on their Instagram account they show the most delicious looking brisket and all that stuff. And we really, since we've been out of the south, we haven't had a good barbecue meal, so we're looking forward to that. I hope you guys are hungry.
Tuesday's just as bad.
So after a long day's drive, nothing better than some awesome barbecue. We've got brisket, ribs, and coleslaw, and it's time to dig in. They got some live music in the back, which is a bonus. Lil Ronnie's and Tofino.
Well, that was one of the best barbecue places I've ever been to.
The best outside of Texas.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Now we're gonna go and find our camp spot at Surf Grove Campgrounds. So
the party's just getting started here, so we really shouldn't be leaving, but we are on a mission and we want to walk the beach at Surf Grove. It's Cox Beach. We spent a whole winter there, if you recall, and we just want to get back there, so we're heading that way.
collected some shells at the other beach we were at, and I'm making this shell necklace for Peter's boat. On this trip I'm going to try and collect little things for each of the kids and make them something. So there you have it. It's all done. It's been a beautiful stay here at Surf Grove, and it brought back a lot of memories and new ones. It never disappoints.
We're now taking the scenic drive back across to the east side of the island, where we will board a ferry that will take us off the island and onto mainland British Columbia. It's been an amazing time here. We've really enjoyed it. So much remote country that we've been able to explore, and a lot more to explore when we come back. But we're excited to get onto the mainland now and begin our eastward journey. We're gonna have to decide tonight, once we get to camp, where we're gonna go in BC, because it's so massive. We're gonna have to just pick some points and some backcountry trails. But we're gonna continue this journey, and we're taking you with us. All right, we're on the, what's it called? The Orca, the Salish Orca, I believe. Looks like a pretty big boat. It's got 2 layers of vehicles. And we're crossing the Powell River. It's a small community in BC, which is only accessible by ferry. I talked to a fellow that lives there, and he said, you know, it's not an island, but it feels like an island because you can only get there by boat. So we're going to spend probably one night in that area and then continue down what's called the Sunshine Coast. And there's actually 3 ferries to get to the bottom of this road. Alright, we are in Powell River. We're going to find a fuel station, even though we got half a tank. I just don't know how far it'll be to the next one. So we're going to fuel up and then go find a place to camp for the night. What is it, 5:50? So we camped in the, there's a little trailhead just up from the ferry terminal. And we just parked there last night. Had such a good sleep that, wow, I slept super heavy. But we've got to get lined up. Looks like they're already lining up for the ferry, which runs at 7:30. So we are going to get in line and see if we can get on the first crossing.
Just the 2 of you?
Yeah.
111.80. Do you have any propane, gas, or anything? Also,
No.
lane 8.
Lane
Lane 8.
8?
So you're right there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
We must have really learned our lesson that one time.
Now we're the first ones in line. So this is the second ferry on the Sunshine Coast. The first one takes you from the island to Powell River, and then this one is from where we camped last night to a place called Earl's Cove, and that's on another island, and we go across that island and then take a ferry to the mainland again, just in North Vancouver. So from there we're cutting north into central BC. We could have gone farther south on Vancouver Island and then crossed right to Vancouver from Nanaimo or all the way down to Victoria, but we've never done what's called the Sunshine Coast, which is what we're doing now, and that's why we went this route. It maybe takes a bit longer, but it's gorgeous scenery. It's a place we wanted to check off our list. We're officially on mainland BC now. We've completely left the island and all the little islands, and we're going to start heading inland. This is called the Sea to Sky Highway, and it's all along this absolute epicness. It's a beautiful drive. We've actually never been here, so we're loving it so far. You can see white-capped mountains and glaciers in the distance, and then this huge waterway, which we follow up for a couple of hours at least. morning. We're back on the road pretty early this morning, wanting to keep heading north. Had a wonderful sleep by that river. I think it's called Cayush Creek. It looks like just glacial water flowing quite rapidly, and we're following the river all the way down. We just stopped to take a walk and cross this beautiful bridge somebody built. So we're heading north towards Williams Lake, and then from there we're going to start heading back west, the opposite way of where we're ultimately going. But there's some folks we met along the way that told us one of the most wild places in BC is, if not, the whole place is wild, but one of the most remote and wild places is called Chilkoot Lake. And so it looks like 3.5 hour drive out that way, but it's worth it. We're gonna go check it out. We're gonna bring you over there with us and show you the backcountry wilderness of British Columbia. So this is our first time coming up this road in this area, and the scenery is spectacular. I hope we're able to do it justice with the camera out the window. It's hard to capture the beauty. You just have to see it with your own eyes. But what an incredible place. Just rushing rivers and massive rocky mountains everywhere, and huge forests, canyons. We're in the bottom of a canyon. We're crawling out of it now, but yeah, it blows your mind. It's an amazing drive. We just camped in a free dispersed camping area last night because we were coming in not really knowing the area, but there's all kinds of BC rec sites along here, so plenty of beautiful camp spots. They're all free, and they're dispersed all through here, so on your Onyx app it'll show you where all those are.
Isn't that crazy?
We're winding our way through the stunning Cayush Canyon, which follows the path of Cayush Creek. This canyon, nestled between the Cayush and Lillooet ranges, offers a breathtaking display of nature's raw beauty.
We're just gonna pull over and pop the drone up because it's mind-boggling how beautiful it is. It's a huge canyon with the river going through it.
We find a little side road with an overlook where we can stop and admire the magnificent beauty of this area. Towering rock walls, cascading waterfalls, and rugged mountain peaks, some soaring as high as 2,900 meters or 9,700 feet, make up this incredible view. It's a truly awe-inspiring journey through one of British Columbia's most remarkable landscapes. We've been driving for almost 2 hours on this dirt road. It's leveled off a fair bit. It's quite drivable, especially now that we've aired down. So we're able to, do 50 kilometers an hour, which is good. But we're going through some wild country and some very remote ranch land where cattle and horses are just free roaming, which is really neat to see. But yeah, we still have an hour and a half before we get to the where we're hopefully going to set up our camp.
Some of the mountains are in view though.
We're starting to see mountains coming into view, yeah. closer to the mountains, and the road's getting kind of some switchbacks going down to a river, I believe.
This is probably the most remote camp I've ever been to,
Yeah, no doubt.
by far.
The road just keeps going and going and getting smaller and smaller. We just finally saw a sign. Oh, and here's the sign. So we feel like we're on the right direction now. But for a while there, I was like, this can't be right. It's so remote. Such a gorgeous area, and this is, like you saw from the drive-in here, it's incredibly remote. So come down and take a look here.
There's a loon down there.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Look at the water.
Crystal clear.
You hear that river?
Yeah, must
I
be.
think it's over there.
That's insane. Good morning. It is so quiet and peaceful here. We are in one of the most remote places, up against the mountains, a pristine lake right behind us. It's going to be hard to pry ourselves away from this place. This is, every day we stay here, we feel like we want to stay here longer. It's got a feeling about it. I don't know how to describe, but anyway, if you can ever get out here to Chilko Lake, there's a bunch of little provincial parks, and they're just self-serve. There's nobody here. You know, they have a couple of picnic tables, fire pits, and that's about it. You just fill out a form and park wherever you want. We just happen to be right on the lake. It's one of the most ideal camp spots. But we could stay here for a month, but we've got to carry on. We're on the Great Canadian Overland Adventure, and we have thousands of kilometers ahead of us. So we're going to start making our way east, try to avoid some of the fires that are in the northern part of BC. We're going to take you with us. Big old black bear just ran across the road. They just disappear like ghosts into the forest. You get a quick glimpse of them and they're gone. Back on the pavement for a while, so we're going to air back up. So we are heading down a Forest Service road, and just looking on the Onyx app, there appears to be a fire up ahead. There's not a lot of information on it, and I'm assuming if there's an active fire close to the road, there should be some kind of fire service to turn us around. So we'll just proceed in the meantime.
And we're at like highway pressure for sure. So now we're kind of feeling it. That was a big rock slide.
Yeah. That's why they say you can't come up here when it's raining. I guess because they had a fire go through, which makes the ground unstable, so then if they're getting lots of rain, it becomes very unstable, and we're perched way over top of the lake here.
What lake is that?
Adams. After a forest fire, the risk of mudslides increases because the burning of accumulated organic matter in the soil creates a water-repellent layer known as hydrophobicity. This layer prevents rain from soaking into the soil, leading to erosion and unstable slopes. As a result, mud flows and landslides can occur suddenly and move rapidly. The road we are on passes through an old burn area where much of the vegetation was destroyed and hasn't yet regrown. Carved into the side of a mountain high above Adams Lake, this road has been prone to landslides since the fire. Signage warns travelers not to stop along the way and not to traverse the road during rainy conditions. With no rain in the forecast, we decide to carry on through.
We're just outside of, what town was that? Salmonar?
Yeah.
Beautiful town. And beautiful
Lake.
lake and mountains along it. But but we just can't really see them because of the smoke. But I could imagine how beautiful it is. But yeah, so we're looking for a camp spot. This one seemed on iOverlander to have a lot of people visiting it. Like it's kind of a popular spot, so I don't know. But there are a few of them. So fingers crossed this is open because I am kind of tired and super hungry. And we bought tons of meat, so we have to cut it up tonight and bag it and find room in our little fridge. But yeah, check it out. So there was a, what do you call that? Like a side-by-side parked, and I think they were just looking at the sunset because it was quite spectacular in the camp spot. So hopefully they've moved on because the sun has kind of disappeared now and we can set up camp. We'll see. There's also another spot that's down the road, another 2.5 kilometers, and it's a trailhead, which is fine too because it's wide open. It doesn't have the view. Really, I don't care where we go tonight. So
this is just a stop, a one-night stop on our way east.
And I want to wake up super early tomorrow. Well, not like the average 5, and then get on the road by 6. I think that'd be great. So let's get out and then we'll decide because I'm kind of liking the trailhead idea.
Yeah, let's check it out.
It is a pretty view though. Wow. It is spectacular. You can see the mountains just, BC's insane with their mountains. Just everywhere you look. So we decided we're gonna go to the trailhead and camp there for tonight because really we're not gonna be outside at all, and it's just a place to sleep and hit the road first thing in the morning. So this is a nice wide open flat spot.
Yeah, it should be good. Where do you want to be? Up here somewhere?
Doesn't matter. That's good.
I have to come up a bit in the front, but there shouldn't be any trouble finding rocks around here.
Can you get my window?
Yeah. After driving about 600 kilometers or 372 miles across central BC, it didn't take long for us to drift off to sleep, listening to the sound of the much welcomed rain gently falling outside.
What a really quiet spot last night. And it rained a little bit, which was really nice to hear because I don't think on this trip we've had rain.
No, I don't think so.
So that was it was kind of really cozy. So now we're heading to Radium area, somewhere in and around there, and hopefully doing some laundry today because yeah, I'm down to my last of everything. And we're gonna find some water because we ran out of water this morning. So
it's about 4 hours drive from here, so just a good trip today. As we continue east along the Trans-Canada Highway towards Glacier National Park, we're surrounded by the steep mountains and narrow valleys that shape this breathtaking landscape. In the winter months, this area turns into a prime avalanche zone with an average snowpack of 3.5 meters or 11.5 feet at tree line, and total annual snowfall reaching up to 14 meters or 46 feet. Even higher elevations receive even more snow, making this one of Canada's snowiest regions.
I need to buy a sticker for our door. Poor Pete. I always make him stop at all these information centers so I can get my stickers and patches. It probably costs more money than anything else on our trips.
It's a great way of remembering places, though. It's worth it.
I like it. It makes me happy. So let's go check out this one. Plus, history of the area you're driving through is always way better because then you have a more fuller understanding of what you're going through. The worst we learned on our first trip around was we kind of fly through places without learning the history of it, and then later you're like, oh my goodness, we were there and we didn't understand, you know, the area we were in. So let's go check it out.
The Trans-Canada Highway is Canada's longest national road, stretching from Victoria, British Columbia to St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Spanning 7,821 kilometers, or 4,860 miles, it passes through all 10 provinces and links Canada's major cities. Built over some of the world's most challenging terrain, this monumental project took about 20 years to complete at a cost of around $1 billion. The highway opened up Glacier National Park and made it easier for families and friends across the country to visit one another. This ribbon of highway connected Canadians from coast to coast, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. The completion of this remarkable achievement was recognized as an event of national historic significance. So if you're doing the cross-country tour of Canada, you don't want to miss coming through Glacier National Park and Rogers Pass, where we are right now. It's just such a spectacular piece of the Trans-Canada Highway, and there's over 100 glaciers in this park, and some are in full view here from the pass. Mountains in all directions, and a really neat history of when they built the Trans-Canada Highway. I guess they started, I think, in 1949, and it officially opened in 1962. But you'll see these cannons that were supplied by the Canadian Armed Forces worked in conjunction with the highway department here to bring up cannons in the winter and to try to pre-trigger avalanches. There's memorials of people that have died over the years because of the avalanches that would come through here. Very, very dangerous because of the steep mountains in all directions. So the armed forces would shoot those cannons up into the mountains and trigger avalanches, which they would then clear off the highway. So just a neat area with lots of history and absolutely spectacular scenery. These tunnels are actually shelters for snow avalanches. They're in the winter where the area is very prone to avalanches. They built these coverings. Pretty neat.
There's one after another.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them here.
What an incredible pass this is. Just so many waterfalls, glaciers, and jagged, rough peaks. Quite amazing.
There's a spot here that we like along a river, and we're going to pull in there and fill up with water and maybe camp. I don't know, but it's still really early. We could make some more headway, but it is a beautiful spot. Maybe we'll do lunch there and then decide. We've been here in the fall, and there's often salmon swimming in there.
So there is a campground or like a wreck site, right?
Yeah.
Further, but I like the one that's over here. This one.
Yeah, it's just a dispersed free camping.
Hopefully,
not using it for logging.
this camp spot always has insane sunsets every time we've been here. Just love places like this. During the day there's some logging trucks, and then after 5 it quiets down and it's just dead quiet after that.
We camped there with the kids in the fall where that van is camping right now. Beautiful spot, but like Carol said, this is our favorite. It's just outside of the park, and we're outside of the rec area, and it's right on the bend of the river. Let's see if there's any salmon. Probably early in the year for that.
This spot's kind of cozy. Yeah, maybe go get the truck. I like this. Last time the water was super clear because it was fall time, and you could see the fish spawning. pretty special. I think we should stay here for the night or day, get caught up on videos. Isn't that cool? That one's beautiful. We see these often when you arrive to a camp, and when the kids were young, they just loved it. And sometimes they would paint one and leave one. Whoever did this is fantastic. And this is where we found you. Beautiful. What a perfect spot.
As striking as the scenery has been so far on our journey across Canada, it is the sounds of nature that truly soothe the soul. The gentle patter of rain, the soothing murmur of a babbling brook, leaves rustling in the breeze, and waves lapping against the shore of a mountain lake all create a calming and restful backdrop. As we settle in for the night, we review our maps and plan tomorrow's route. We'll be leaving the pavement behind to venture into the backcountry of eastern BC and making our way eastward into Alberta.
We made it to Radium. It's always nice to be back here. Brings back a lot of memories. But there's a coin laundry and also a car wash. That'll be done in 30 minutes, so we'll go wash the truck.
We are heading into the backcountry now that we're gonna fuel up first. We want to be full of fuel. You never know what you're gonna run into back there. And I think we have lots of food and other supplies, so that's it. A bit of diesel. I think we're about 3/4 full, so we'll fill up and then head back on the trails. Radium Hot Springs, or Radium as the locals call it, is a beautiful village of about 1,500 people nestled amongst the mountains of the East Kootenay region of British Columbia. The village is named for the hot springs in the nearby Kootenay National Park. So that was the Radium Hot Springs pools. They were natural hot springs. Over the years they've built pools around them, but we spent a winter here once 5 years ago or something when the kids were younger, and it was sure nice on a snowy day going into those beautiful hot springs. So check them out if you're in the area. Radium Hot Springs, BC. After leaving Radium Hot Springs, we take Highway 93 east towards Alberta. Normally, if we're heading east, we take Highway 93 all the way, winding through the spectacular mountain valleys and incredible views of Kootenay National Park, up over the Continental Divide and down to Highway 1, somewhere between Lake Louise and Banff, Alberta. This would be the fastest route and a very beautiful one, but this time our plan is to stick to the backcountry as much as possible, and so we cut off of Highway 93 onto a section of the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail. This section of the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail takes us along the backcountry trails and logging roads that run through the Kootenay River Valley. Sections of the road are straight and level, and although dusty, we can move along at a good pace. Other sections of this trail follow the edge of a steep canyon wall, overlooking the beautiful Kootenay River far below. The Kootenay River is a major watershed that flows from its headwaters in the Canadian Rockies of British Columbia down into northwestern Montana, through the panhandle of Idaho, and back into British Columbia. It eventually makes its way into the mighty Columbia River, which empties into the Pacific Ocean. So sometimes if you're on a big epic family road trip, you've got to remember once in a while to just stop and pull out a chair and enjoy the beauty. It's very relaxing and it's a great way to be present. Driving through all this gorgeous country is amazing too, but nothing like just sitting there listening to the river for a while. By tonight we'll probably be out of BC and into Alberta, so we just want to make sure we are present in the moment and just get the full experience of BC. But British Columbia, you've been good to us as always. What an epic place. We could spend a year just exploring in this province and not even scratch the surface. So there's so much here. But thankfully this time we got to go to some places we've never been and really, really enjoyed our time. There's just a few, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours more drive through British Columbia and then we're into Alberta. We've made it to Alberta. Although BC has been a spectacular journey, we are excited to get started crossing another Canadian province on our way to the East Coast. We find a camp spot just a kilometer or so off the road and get camp set up for a good night's sleep. Tomorrow morning, we begin exploring Alberta.
So that was a beautiful camp spot just offside the highway.
In Crow's Nest Pass, which is just inside Alberta. It's a perfect little stop if you're traveling cross country. There's quite a few camp spots along here, some right by the river. We were so tired last night, we just took the first one and went to bed. So now we're starting Alberta. We had an amazing time in BC, but Alberta begins this morning. We're taking the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail. It goes up the highway here for a little bit and then cuts off and works its way all the way up to Canmore. We'll probably get up there today, and we're going to take you with us and show you the scenery and let you enjoy this beautiful province.
So the road to the camp is literally behind the welcome sign.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice, like if you're crossing the country and you need a nice spot, and then you can dump your garbage right here.
So this is different for us. Typically when we get to Crow's Nest Pass, we're on Highway 1, we just start moving eastward, and especially on the south part of Alberta, and before you know it, we're in the plains, and then we're into Saskatchewan, and we're whipping across the bottom of Canada. And our viewers from Alberta and Saskatchewan, they're always saying, guys, you're missing the best part of our provinces, and that just is something we're changing this time, and we're going to spend a bit more time exploring. So we're on the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail, which takes us straight north from Crow's Nest Pass up towards Canmore, and all on dirt roads. So it's a different experience for us, and I hope you guys enjoy seeing a bit more of these beautiful provinces. That's the base for, I guess, this whole area. If something were to break out, those guys would deploy. Back here, there's a river called the Old Man River that we've been following, and the signs say it's a native trout area, so we are flagging this one for future reference. But there's camping, dispersed camping all along this road. There's a couple of provincial parks and some Alberta rec areas. So if you ever get out this way and you're looking for a place to camp, there's plenty of it here.
It would be so beautiful in the fall.
Yeah, it would be incredible. It's very reminiscent of parts of Colorado in the mountains that we've been, Montana. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, wild, beautiful area. Saw a sign to an Alberta rec center called Livingston Falls. falls, so hopefully there's a little hike to a falls. We'll check it out.
What a beautiful little spot this is. Get to see the river here, or the creek. I think it's a river. But the falls were special. The water is just crystal clear. It looks like you could almost drink out of it. Unbelievable. But we're just walking around. It's just a tiny little hike, but it's nice to get out and stretch your legs. Gorgeous little spot. A neat campground.
Yeah, it is. As you go, it just keeps getting better and better. We thought, man, we missed a section. Let's go back, but we went forward and it got even more spectacular.
My mind is actually blown. I'm so happy we're doing this route.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
So it's a little frustrating to try and film this because it is so spectacular. Like, it is blowing our minds. Everywhere you look, it's like you're in a bowl and there's just the most epic mountains, like, and there's so much character and it's just raw, like, so, what is the word I'm looking for? Wild, yes. Like, every time you come around a corner,
Like
you're
right
just
now.
it's just insane. Let me just show you guys what we're talking about.
So they're off the road now, but it's a reminder that we're in their country, not the other way around. So today's route has been nothing less than spectacular. We started way down in the south by Crow's Nest Pass and headed into the backcountry, and it came all the way up and just came out on Highway 40, which is a highway that's only open in the summer, so I highly recommend you do it. We've never done it before. It's called the Kananaskis country, and it's mind-boggling at every turn. We've been driving now for a couple of hours, and the mountains keep getting more and more spectacular. It's just an incredible route, and it hasn't been busy. Like, we've done the through the parks, Jasper and Banff, and we've done the Columbia Icefields Parkway, which up till now was the most spectacular road we've ever taken, but it was quite busy with tourists. Here there's a couple of trucks and cars here and there, but in general it is wide open, and there's more sheep, more mountain goats on the road, or sheep, than people. So between yesterday and today, the temperatures dropped about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It was 98 degrees yesterday, or 36 Celsius. Today it's 12 degrees Celsius, which is 58 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's thankfully raining a little bit now here in the mountains. So that is the best news ever for the fire, and the firefighters are getting a little bit of help with this rain. And I hope it just downpours, because that would really, I'm sure, help get the fires under control. So, but yeah, much welcomed rain right now. Although we're on a journey eastward across Canada, we're taking a little detour west. It's been a long day on the road, and we're hungry. And there are plenty of great places to eat in Canmore, Alberta, one of our favorite little mountain towns. Hey guys, so we had to take a 24-minute detour to come to Canmore, Alberta. It's raining out there, which is really nice. We're surrounded in mountains again, and we're at a place called the Grizzly Paw. And we just ordered some wings and pizza, which is made in a fire oven over here. It's just this is an amazing place, and we're hungry, so perfect timing. After a delicious meal, we head about 20 minutes out of town to a little campground along the Trans-Canada Highway. We fill up with water and then take a little walk along the river before settling in for the night. Tomorrow we get back on the Trans-Canada Highway and begin heading east. The scenery is about to drastically change, and the mountains will soon be in our rearview mirror as we make our way out onto the wide open Canadian prairies. Morning guys, we grabbed a coffee and we're hitting the road fairly early this morning. We realized we've got a long ways to go. We've only gone that far on the map, and we've got to go that far. So today, let me just check my map. Yeah, today we are leaving the mountain region of Alberta. We're outside of Canmore, and we just found a little paid campground here right beside the Highway 1, the Trans-Canada Highway. I've got to get over here. And but you can hear the sound of Highway 1 and the Trans-Canada, and sometimes that sound, after being in the wilderness for a long period of time, just listening to birds and rivers and all the beautiful stuff, and I just missed my road altogether.
Just back out, because there's no cars here this morning. I didn't see my grizzly bear.
That's alright. That's a good thing usually.
Haven't had our coffee yet.
Whew, okay. Yeah, haven't had my coffee yet. I almost started going west again. This morning we're heading east, so the mountains are fading into the distance, and we're starting a whole new chapter of the Great Canadian Overland Adventure. We're starting to head into the Great Plains area and the prairies and all that. So today we're heading towards Medicine Hat on the Trans-Canada Highway, and then we'll get back on the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail. But we're excited to take you along on the Great Canadian Overland Adventure.
Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met, you were worth the wait. Oh, This could be the best thing that I'll ever know.
We are pulling into the village of Elkwater, a picturesque community on the southern shore of Elkwater Lake. Elkwater serves as the gateway to the Cypress Hills area of southwestern Saskatchewan and southeastern Alberta. The Cypress Hills rise dramatically from the surrounding plains, covering approximately 2,500 square kilometers, with 16% of its area designated as an interprovincial park. The region is known for its diverse landscapes, including forests of aspen, lodgepole pine, and white spruce on the north-facing slopes, contrasted with mixed grass prairie and fescue in the higher areas. Wildlife flourishes here, from small mammals like shrews and jackrabbits to large species such as moose, lynx, and cougar, and a variety of bird species including the great horned owl. Cattle range freely in the high elevation grasslands as we make our way eastward towards Saskatchewan. Doesn't seem like too many vehicles go down this road, because maybe just the ranchers to feed the cattle, because the young ones saw the truck and they started running towards us, thinking maybe we had some food for them. Even though there's lots of grass, they probably bring grain or something up to them from time to time. So anyway, we're carrying on. This is very unique. We're just driving through the prairies, and then all of a sudden we're in the Cypress Hills, and it's higher elevation, wildland. We're on a little dirt road, and there's lots of trees, so something to check out if you're going through the prairies.
We made it.
So we're gonna just stop for a minute and take a picture, but normally crossing from Alberta into Saskatchewan, we're doing 110 down the Trans-Canada Highway. It's kind of different to be crossing into Saskatchewan on a little backcountry ranch trail. And the crossing is a cattle guard.
Watch your feet though.
Let's go take a picture.
Welcome to Saskatchewan.
We're in Saskatchewan. We're still in the backcountry and have a lot of gravel travel ahead of us, but we're going to stop somewhere and find a camp if we can. We took a minute to read some of the history of an event known as the Cypress Hills Massacre, which occurred in 1873. Whiskey trade, have Faribault's trading post a site from 1873. It involved some missing horses, a lot of whiskey, and the death of about 30 men. The incident prompted the creation of nearby Fort Walsh and accelerated the recruitment and deployment of the newly formed Northwest Mounted Police. Tonight we are parking just off the Trans-Canada Highway, right by the Chaplin Lake Bird Sanctuary. Located in the southwestern corner of Saskatchewan, Chaplin Lake is a prominent feature of the Prairie Pothole region, which spans parts of 3 Canadian provinces and 5 U.S. states. Along with neighboring Reed and Old Wives Lakes, it forms the second largest saline lake system in Canada and the 4th largest in North America. Chaplin Lake's importance extends beyond its size. It serves as a crucial habitat for migratory and nesting birds, hosting up to 100,000 shore birds annually.
I found a moose shed and moose jaw. So happy if Pete lets me come and see these little sites. I think they're fun. Well, we're gonna go find coffee and a light breakfast and then get back on the road. made it to Manitoba.
All right, we're crossing the big prairies. We are through Saskatchewan and into Manitoba. Manitoba, situated at the longitudinal center of Canada, is the country's 5th most populous province, with a population of 1,342,000. The province boasts a diverse landscape ranging from Arctic tundra and the Hudson's Bay coastline in the north to dense boreal forests, large freshwater lakes, and prairie grasslands in the central and southern regions. Although we are currently crossing the prairie region in the south, Manitoba's natural beauty extends far beyond this. In fact, 263,000 square kilometers, or 48% of the province's land area, is covered in vast forests. Manitoba is home to over 100,000 freshwater lakes, including Lake Winnipeg, the 6th largest lake in Canada and the 10th largest in the world. These lakes support 18 species of game fish, including trout and pike. The northeast corner of Manitoba, bordering Hudson Bay, is above the tree line and features tundra landscapes. This region is known for its polar bear population, with Churchill often referred to as the polar bear capital. Well, we've officially made it to the longitudinal center of Canada. We've been here before, but this one's really significant because we're going coast to coast on this trip. Take a picture and then get back on the road. Both those provinces, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, are almost two different provinces from the south to the north. And we've explored partway of the north of both of those, but next time we have a lot more time, we'll head up into the north country of both Manitoba and Saskatchewan. And some of our viewers are from there, and you said you'd be disappointed if we only stuck to the south of your province. And so I'm sorry, this time we have a good reason, but we will be back and we will explore the beauty of the north woods of both of your provinces. After being in BC and Alberta, where the fire hazard was on extreme the whole time, now in Ontario it's on low, and we've been hearing from the boys they've been getting a lot of rain, so and it's been a cool year, a lot cooler than normal and rainier than normal, so big difference between east and west. Ontario is so big and so long. We've got a long journey ahead of us. After all these years of traveling this way, we now know, but back in the day when the kids were young, they're like, oh, it's Ontario, we're home. And then they'd wonder why we're still on the road 3.5 days later. So we just looked around on this logging road and found a little spot we can back into.
I'll jump out.
A few bushes that are making the beeper go off. The bears, babe.
Yeah. There's beautiful blueberries. We can pick some for breakfast. Look, you gotta try some.
Ooh, it's been a while.
The best. So flavorful. The blueberries are just everywhere. And I hear water. Like a little creek or a river, but it's flowing pretty good. So I want to go check that out.
After exploring the area and picking our fill of blueberries, we set up camp for the night in the woods beside a logging road here in northwestern Ontario. We've reached the halfway point of our journey from coast to coast across Canada. Ahead of us lie the provinces of Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland, Labrador. But before all that, we have some very exciting times ahead for our family. As we fall asleep, we think about the upcoming celebrations and the preparations for Caroline and Matt's September wedding. So guys, by the time you get to Ontario, you're just over halfway across the country. We highly recommend that maybe when you're in Wawa or somewhere up there, that you stop, rent a cabin. There's tons of them. Rent a cabin for a couple of days and rent a boat or a canoe and get out on the lake and just get off the road for a little bit. It's the best way to experience Ontario is on the water, the land of thousands and thousands of lakes. And so driving down the road, you're going to experience a lot of beautiful scenery and everything, but you won't get the full feel for Ontario until you do that. That's exactly what we're doing because we happen to have a cabin in Ontario. So we're going to pause here and spend a week or so enjoying the beauty of the lake and the fresh air and the sound of the loons at night, and just getting off the road for a little bit. And then we're going to ramp it back up and we're going to carry on through a lot of backcountry in Ontario, into Quebec, into Labrador and Newfoundland and the other maritime provinces, Nova Scotia, PEI and New Brunswick. So huge journey still ahead. Time for a bit of a break.
Good to see you. Good.
See you, my man.
That'd be fun.
Sweating, eh?
Yeah, it's sticky.
It's nice by the lake, though.
Where's that Lando? Aw, look at you.
Where is that?
Hi, little guy.
He's gonna be so happy. Lynn, who is this? Is that Mutter?
Oh, look at you. And does you
Oh, come here, buddy. Linderman.
You probably just can't believe it.
Oh, there's that rider.
Oh, good to see you, Dan. Woo. Hi.
There he is, there he is. Hi, Lando. Hi, buddy. How are you? Excited.
Hi. There you go. There you go.
What is he got, huh?
Wow. Good to be back.
Oh,
That's crazy.
so good to be back. At least for a while. We're taking a pause here and to get off the road, and we're just over halfway across the country, so we've still got the other half to do, and we'll be back at it soon enough. But for now,
Well, for
time
now
for a
it's time for a wedding. So, not really a break,
well,
but a wedding.
a wedding, a birthday celebration for my 85-year-old dad, and a 60th
Anniversary.
wedding anniversary for my parents. So a lot going on in the middle of the Great Canadian Overland Adventure. As much as we've enjoyed our overland adventure across Canada so far, it sure feels good to be back at the island. Catching up with the boys has been a real treat, and we're excited for tomorrow when Caroline, her fiancé Matt, and a bunch of family and friends come up to the lake for the long weekend. These summer days are made for long boat rides. It's also the perfect time for endless hours of fishing. And for water sports, some good old-fashioned fun. And if you manage to knock your brother off the tube, well, that's just a bonus. This time of year in Ontario, the days are long, the sun is warm, and the lakes are at the perfect temperature for swimming. There are over 250,000 lakes in Ontario, which constitute about 20% of the world's freshwater supply. And it's hard to believe that in just 3.5 months from now, most of these lakes will be frozen over. The lake then transforms into a winter wonderland, offering endless opportunities for snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, ice fishing, and snowmobiling. But for now, we are enjoying the long and beautiful days of summer at the lake.
Oh! You saw it?
It came off.
Came off. Yeah, it came off like this close from the surface.
Oh, at least you're not skunked. I sometimes wish days like this could last forever. With all of us together again, enjoying the lake and each other's company. But after a wonderful weekend, we say goodbye to Matt and Caroline.
For everything.
Yeah.
It's not moving.
It's always hard watching loved ones drive away, but as the sun sets over the horizon and we wind down the day, we look forward to seeing them again in just a few days as we all gather together for a big family celebration. Today is particularly special for our family, as we are celebrating my dad's 85th birthday and our parents' 60th wedding anniversary. And then, one by one, their 92 grandchildren contributed a rose until before them lay a large bouquet of beautiful red roses. After a wonderful celebration, we head down the road to help Caroline move some of her things into the apartment where she and Matt will be living after they're married. One of my brothers has a brand new apartment available on his beautiful equestrian farm, which will be the perfect place for Caroline and Matt to settle in and establish their life together. We're just moving some things from Caroline's old apartment to her new apartment. She'll be moving in here when they get married. Beautiful, spacious, and gorgeous views overlooking the fields here with horses. It's really nice. Everything is falling into place. Over the next week, we'll have a wedding shower with family in New York. Another one in Toronto. Back at the lake, Caroline will enjoy a beautiful sunset dinner cruise with her friends. And then, just like that, the big day was upon us.
Welcome, beloved friends. We are gathered here in the presence of God and these witnesses to unite this man and woman in the holy covenant of marriage.
Really hard and come back just as the sun is going down. And she'd be waiting by the door.
To love, honor, and respect you.
Always.
Till death do us part.
Till death do us part.
Rejoice or to mourn, I'll be yours, for rich or for poor. We'll count every blessing and choose to enjoy. Don't you know? I'll be your light to ride through the.
With hearts overflowing with joy, Carol and I returned to the island to put up some firewood for the winter and to prepare for the second half of the Great Canadian Overland Adventure. These past few weeks have been an incredible time of joy and celebration for our family. My dad's 85th birthday, my parents' 60th wedding anniversary, the birth of 2 new great-grandchildren, and the beautiful wedding of Caroline and Matthew. In such a large extended family as ours, there are many moments of joy and happiness, disproportionately more. But in the same way, there can also be more pain and loss. Sadly, our blissful joy left over from the wedding was not to last. Early Sunday morning, we received the devastating news that the kid's cousin Calvin had been involved in a personal watercraft accident on the St. Lawrence River and succumbed to his injuries. He was only 21 years old and one of the kindest people you could ever meet. Caroline and Matthew left immediately upon hearing the news to cancel their honeymoon reservations and to be with the family. Daniel left with them. Carol and I carried on our work in stunned silence. Pete was on an expedition with ex-Overland, and Clay and Rochelle Croft kindly arranged for him to fly into Toronto the same day to be with the rest of his cousins and to grieve with them. That night the heavens lit up in a glorious display of color, seemingly welcoming Calvin home and celebrating his reunion with his mother, whom he had lost a few years ago. This tragic loss is going to take a long time to heal, but Cal's memory will remain with us forever. Friends and family traveled from across Canada, the US, and Europe to celebrate the life of an incredible young man whose kind heart and quiet spirit touched so many lives. Still reeling from the loss, we got up early the next morning to take Peter to the airport, where he will fly back to Whitehorse, Yukon, to rejoin the crew. We found ourselves hugging a little tighter and saying "I love you" a little more often.
See ya.
Love you.
Love you.
Be careful.
Be safe.
Well,
Yes. Love it.
I know, man. I know, you're a good boy. Want a big hug too? Come here.
So we are saying goodbye to Dan and Lando and hitting the road again. I don't know why it's a little emotional. I think just from everything going on. And you know, losing a cousin their age, it just makes you hug them and love them every opportunity you can. We won't get to see Pete returning, but Dan will be here, which is nice. And then who knows if Matt and Caroline can come up in the meantime. But yeah, there's a lot of dangers with working chainsaws and just, you know, living off the grid and remote. But I know Dan has a Zoleo and he's connected with our friends like Brad on the lake and with the marina, Chris and Kendra. So that kind of gives me peace of mind. And the global rescue. Yeah, just a lot kind of going through my head and just trying to keep at peace with it and at rest. I have all the confidence in the world that everything will go fine. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't sleep last night just thinking, I guess. But yeah, I'll get over that and once we hit the road and get those tires moving. But yeah, Lando knows something's up. He's been following me around like everywhere I go today. And or this morning. We got off to a late start. We were supposed to leave at 11 and it's now 12. But the weather looks like it's kind of warming up, which is nice. And yeah, so we'll see you on the road. Bye, Lando.
Bye, Lando.
You have to stay, Lando. Daniel with his sweatpants on. Oh no, Lando! You can't come, honey.
Lando, come back. Buddy.
Dan, over here, look.
Go to Dan.
Go to Dan.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Poor little.
Bye.
Yeah, good boy. Have fun.
Bye.
Be safe.
We got the keys, wallet.
Keys. Wallet. Oh, I think we have everything we need.
Bye. Love you.
Currently going eastward and we're staying off the main highways and doing some paved roads. We're currently in the Muskoka Lakes area. Just went through the little town of Rosso, I think it's called. It's beautiful, quaint little villages. The leaves are all down now, so we missed them by about a week, at least in this area. We'll see as we go if there's still leaves on the trees, but it's still extremely beautiful and wild country. All right, so we're just west of Algonquin Park, and we're gonna look for a camp spot out here on these logging roads and spend the night, get all set up. Being our first night on the road, it usually takes us a while to get set up, and it gets dark so early this time of year, it's unbelievable. But especially on a gray day like today, so it's only coming up on 4:30, and so that's a bit early for us, but I think we'll find a good camp spot back in here. It's beautiful, really neat spot. And then tomorrow, if we get up fairly decent time, we'll drive through Algonquin Park and have a good chance of seeing a moose or something. So let's find us a camp spot. There's all kinds of spots like this.
That one's okay. Let's keep going. I'm just gonna walk down here and check it out. It's kind of tight. It's doable. The other driveway down to another spot, it's just crazy mud. So I just don't want to have to like back out all the way. But it looks good so far.
That is a pretty lake. Really long enough to drive. It looks like almost like a river going there. Good morning. This place was pretty epic. Absolutely gorgeous view and completely silent. Really nice place to spend the night. In fact, it would be nice to spend a little more time here, but we've got a long ways to go to get to the Atlantic Ocean. So we're all packed up, and we've had a coffee by the lake. We're gonna get back on the road. So come with us, we're heading east.
What a beautiful morning. But I was kind of busy, like just cleaning and stuff, so I didn't get to have my coffee yet. I mean, just a little bit, a few sips while we were down by the lake. Some mornings you just feel like you need it more than others.
On our way east, the route takes us through the city of Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. So we're only about 12 minutes drive from the Parliament buildings, or Parliament Hill. So we thought, since we're doing a cross Canada tour, it makes sense to stop in at the capital and show you guys what that looks like. Today we're just driving through the city, but if you have time, we highly recommend exploring Parliament Hill and the surrounding area on foot. Ottawa, Canada's capital, is the political heart of the country and home to the federal government. The city boasts numerous foreign embassies, significant institutions and landmarks like the Parliament of Canada, the Supreme Court, and the Prime Minister's residence and office. Nestled at the confluence of the Ottawa and Rideau rivers in southern Ontario, Ottawa has a metropolitan population of approximately 1.4 million, making it the fourth largest city in Canada. Now we're crossing the river into Quebec as we continue our journey towards the East Coast. We stopped outside of a small village here in Quebec. We're about 2 hours from Quebec City. So after a long drive, we figured it's a good time to stop. And we found a little parking lot right by this walking trail. And it looks like a good place to camp. There's some good reviews on Overlander, so we'll spend the night there and then head into Quebec City tomorrow.
It's kind of funny, we're sitting just off the road in a parking lot at the trailhead, and I can take a lovely shower after a long day on the road. So we are really enjoying the Ross Monster Baja truck. It is a game changer for sure. So now I'm all refreshed. I'm going to sit outside with Pete and just enjoy the fresh air and call it a night. All right, I think we're ready to go.
All right, we're back on the road. That was a great little camp last night. Just a quiet spot. Another van pulled in and camped there. So if you're ever traveling through Quebec, we'll make sure to mark this down. We're 2 hours from Quebec City. Can't wait to go check that town out and to show you guys. Yeah, so let's go. All right, we are down in the old part of Quebec City now. We're just trying to find a place to park. This alongside the road here looks like it'll be acceptable. We tried in the public parking, but it had a 8-foot restriction on height. We're about 10 feet tall, so we wouldn't make it in there. But yeah, let's see if this works, then we'll go for a nice walk around the old part of town with you. On September 13th, 1759, a fierce battle on the Plains of Abraham forever changed the fate of North America. British forces under General James Wolfe clashed with French troops led by General Louis Joseph de Montcalm, their sights set on Quebec City, the prized heart of New France. Quebec City's spot on the St. Lawrence River made it a perfect stronghold. In a daring move, Wolfe's soldiers scaled the cliffs under cover of darkness, surprising Montcalm's troops at dawn. In just half an hour, the British claimed victory, and both generals fell, leaving a shaken city to surrender. The British win would change Quebec forever. With the new English-speaking community moving in, the city evolved, blending British influences into its French roots in everything from government to architecture. Today, the Plains of Abraham is a beautiful park where people come to relax, play, and explore the past. Walking the trails or visiting museums, visitors still feel the echoes of that pivotal moment in history. So that's the St. Lawrence River behind me, and that will continue to get wider and wider until it comes right out on the Atlantic Ocean, with Labrador on one side and Newfoundland on the other. We still have a long ways to go east, but for now we're enjoying Quebec City. Quebec City is a fun place to visit. It's the birthplace of French North America and the only walled city north of Mexico. Wandering through the cobblestone streets of Old Quebec, you can feel the history all around you. Founded in 1608 by Samuel de Champlain, this city has been influenced by French, British, Irish, and Huron cultures, making it an amazing blend of European charm and North American flair. So Quebec City was built on a cliff over the St. Lawrence River, and it was kind of a strategic move. They built it up here because anybody who wanted to attack the fort would have to scale that wall, and they figured that just wouldn't happen. But because they built it up on top of a cliff, the entire city, when you're walking around here, you're either going very steep downhill or climbing straight up. So be prepared for that. There's lots and lots of flights of stairs. So it's good exercise before you eat some of that French food.
Un petit bout d'avenir sous ma peau belle et tranquille, il écoute paisiblement les sons pas de non-désir, on découvrira.
Quebec City's vibe is so welcoming too. The people here really know how to enjoy life. They're known for their warmth and joie de vivre. Even though nearly everyone speaks French, you'll find that most people speak English as well, so it's easy to get around. And the food? Some of the best.
Well, we're back. Home sweet home. We're gonna go find a place. There's one spot that I found on Overlander, and it's by the river. Hopefully that's available. I do need to go to the grocery store and get a few things, not much. But yeah. So thank you, Old Quebec City. This was amazing. Like, such a blast. Had so much fun.
So we're now on the south side of the St. Lawrence, and there's another parking lot, and it looks good. People have camped here. They've left all kinds of notes that they've camped here on Overlander. So I think we're just going to pull up somewhere and get set up, and this should be good. And then we're only about 5 minutes from the highway that we need to take eastward tomorrow morning. So let's find a nice level spot. Good morning. We are back on the road heading east. That little parking lot camp spot was great last night, super quiet. It was raining quite a bit overnight, which is a really nice sound to fall asleep to. So we're gonna be pushing through Quebec into New Brunswick today, and we'll try to find a place right up near the water somewhere. And then the exploration of the maritime provinces begins. We're super excited about that.
Made it!
We're now in New Brunswick, Canada, so officially in the maritime provinces. What we're planning to do is go right to the top, a place called Campbellton or Campbellford. I think it's Campbellton, and try to find a place on the ocean somewhere. Alright, so we've arrived in Campbellton, New Brunswick, and there's a little pier at the end of the road here, which people have used for camping, and it looks like a good spot to us.
So we made it, and it's getting chilly. I think tonight's supposed to get to -2 Fahrenheit. I mean Celsius. So that's cold. So since it's such a blustery evening, I'm going to be making a kale soup with some sweet potato, a leek, and I couldn't find any ground pork, so I'll just open these up and mash it together, a little bit of onion, and just make a really simple, cozy meal for today.
Well, that was a epic place to spend a couple of days. Today, we're crossing the iconic Confederation Bridge, which carries the Trans-Canada Highway connecting Prince Edward Island to mainland New Brunswick. Stretching 12.9 kilometers or 8 miles across the Northumberland Strait, this is Canada's longest bridge and the world's longest over ice-covered waters. Constructed between 1993 and 1997 at a cost of $1.3 billion, the two-lane toll bridge rises 40 meters or 131 feet above the water and includes a 60-meter or 197-foot navigation span for ships. Its innovative design features a curved layout and a post-tensioned concrete box girder supported by 62 piers. With a speed limit of 80 kilometers per hour or 50 miles per hour, the journey takes about 12 minutes, though weather conditions can sometimes affect travel times. Today, we're lucky to have beautiful weather for our crossing.
It's amazing. I'm glad we're hitting it like on a clear day.
And not too windy.
Yeah.
Before exploring a new place, we often like to stop by the information center, even if it's closed for the season, to see if we can uncover some hidden pieces of history we might otherwise miss. This time, we discovered the fascinating story of PEI's ice boats. From the mid-1820s to 1917, these boats served as a vital winter lifeline across the Northumberland Strait, transporting mail and passengers when ice made other travel impossible. Outfitted with ice runners, they were hauled across frozen stretches and paddled through open water, a perilous and exhausting journey. The ice boat era ended in 1917 with the arrival of reliable steam transportation, but their legacy remains as a testament to the resourcefulness and resilience of PEI's early residents. Today, we're heading to the northwestern tip of Prince Edward Island, known as the North Cape. This spot marks the boundary between the Northumberland Strait and the Gulf of St. Lawrence.
What a beautiful spot this is. Just views out of every single window. It's really breathtaking with the red dirt. Unbelievable. I was wearing my white shoes, but that's not good with this red dirt. So I'm gonna switch over to my hiking boots and go out exploring.
So this is called the North Cape, and that strip of land is the North Cape Reef. And it's apparently the longest natural rock reef in North America, which extends 2 kilometers or just about a mile straight out from the land. And when we got here, it was high tide was coming in, so but it was still low enough that you could see the land. Now it's almost all covered except for the end, but in high tide it completely covers, and then you have 2 tides that come together. So I guess that's the meeting of the currents of the St. Lawrence, the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and the Northumberland Strait. They converge right here over the reef. But yeah, it's a neat place. Lots of migrating birds and lots of these gray and harbor seals, which are beautiful to watch, but the local fishermen are in competition with them because they can eat a ton of fish. And they also have been known to swim down to like 115 feet deep and break a lobster trap, rip it open and get the lobsters out of it. We're warming up because it's pretty chilly out there. It's coastal weather. It can be cold even in the summer evenings, but this time of year it's quite cold. So we're back in the truck. I'm offloading some footage, and Carol and I together are going to make a nice curry meal. So we're excited about just relaxing here and enjoying our time. And already PEI has been an amazing trip so far. So this morning you can see the tide's way out, so we're gonna try to walk to the end with our coffees. It's cold and windy today. Woo-hoo. As we're walking along, we can see dozens of seals just waiting offshore there. Quite a bunch of them. Mostly on this side and up at the end. And then there's the bald eagle that was there yesterday is back. So see how long he stays as we walk towards him.
All the seals are sitting out there just watching us. It's kind of funny.
Coming closer.
Yeah. Really neat to see though. The smell of the ocean is like really, really strong. Our seaweed, I guess. Such a beautiful smell.
Those seals are very curious. They actually followed us all the way to the end of the pier, and now they're following us all the way back. They swim really fast, and they're back here, at least a dozen of them, and they're just bobbing in the water looking at us. When we stop, they stop. When we start walking, they swim again. Cool. We're now heading to the heart of Prince Edward Island to visit the birthplace of one of Canada's most cherished authors, Lucy Maud Montgomery. Born in 1874 in New London, PEI, Montgomery's early years were far from easy. After losing her mother at just 21 months old, she grew up feeling quite lonely. But it was through that solitude that she found comfort in her imagination and developed her gift for storytelling, a gift that would go on to shape her remarkable legacy. Her 1908 novel, Anne of Green Gables, made Montgomery a household name, captivating readers around the world and turning Prince Edward Island into a literary destination. Over her lifetime, she published 20 novels, hundreds of short stories and poems, and numerous essays, forever leaving her mark on Canadian literature. Even today, her work continues to inspire readers of all ages, and the L. M. Montgomery Institute at the University of Prince Edward Island helps preserve her legacy for future generations. So come with us as we take a step back in time to the very place where it all began.
It's always cozy coming here. We came here about 8 years ago with the kids, and that was really special because you could do a whole tour of the house and then walk the grounds, and it felt like you were walking through the book, you know, on all her stories, and you could just feel her imagination with all the beautiful gardens, and it just was a real special time, especially with Caroline, because her and I spent hours watching this, and I'm sure Peter had to watch it a few times with all his sisters. But
oh yeah,
it's a cozy place and really beautiful. Just brings back childhood memories.
We're getting a little boy from an orphanage in Nova Scotia, and he's coming in on the afternoon train.
Oh, how do, Matthew? Is the afternoon train due soon? She's waiting for you on the platform. She?
My name is Anne Shirley. Anne spelled with me.
It's a girl.
I can see that. Where's the boy?
There weren't any.
Good morning. It is November 6th. We just had an amazing sleep right along the channel there. Nice camp spot with the bridge in the background. So now we're gonna go over the bridge and get back onto the mainland and start working our way up to North Sydney, Cape Breton, where the ferry comes in for Newfoundland. So at this point, we are putting it in high gear to get out to St. John's. We're just gonna make a quick pit stop here, get some diesel and maybe a coffee, and then carry on. Extra large black coffee.
So we've got coffee. You know I love my jerky. And we have a pile of maps. Talk about a road trip.
It's a road trip. So we're just on the causeway between the southern part of Nova Scotia and the northern part, which is called Cape Breton Island. And it's a beautiful place. We came here years ago with the kids and drove with the motorhome towing the Jeep, and unhitched the Jeep and did the Cabot Trail, and we went on some of the beautiful hikes overlooking the ocean and all that. And depending on time, you know, we'll see if we can and weather, see if we can show you some of those beautiful scenes here in on Cape Breton Island. Well, we made it to the ferry station. We're a bit early, but we'll probably just park and do some work in the back and wait.
Hi.
I know we're early. Can we just park out there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Peter and Carol.
Yeah. Yeah, so they said you can park, and as long as you have your ID and so on, you can walk into town or whatever. So we're lane 12, and we're the second from the front. There's something about ferries, it's always taking you somewhere that's hard to get to, and I don't know, we love them.
This is cozy. We can work, plug in, charge, and ta-da! We have our own bathroom. I claim it first.
You got it.
Your attention, please. We will be docking in approximately 1 hour until the ship is secure at dockside. Also, for passenger in cabin, we ask to please leave your bedroom doors open when you have exited the cabin.
gorgeous. And you can see Newfoundland.
As we approach Port aux Basques, here are some interesting facts we have recently discovered about Newfoundland. Did you know Newfoundland was once its own country? It gained Dominion status in 1907 alongside New Zealand, Australia, and Canada before joining Canada in 1949. In the 1950s, Gander International was the world's busiest airport, a key stop for transatlantic flights. In 2001, it became famous when 38 planes and 6,700 passengers landed during the 9/11 attacks, receiving a famously warm welcome. Newfoundland is officially Newfoundland and Labrador now, with the name change in 2001 to recognize Labrador. Newfoundland also has its own time zone 30 minutes ahead of Atlantic time and 90 minutes ahead of Eastern time. Though Labrador is bigger, 94% of the population live in Newfoundland, with nearly half in St. John's. The Vikings were the first Europeans in North America. Lanceau Meadows, a Viking settlement discovered in 1960, is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And finally, in 1943, German soldiers landed in Labrador to set up a weather station. It's the only known German landing in North America during World War II. That was uneventful passage. We met a guy that watches our show, Paul. He came up and said hi, and then he gave us a whole bunch of good tips on places to go when we get to St. John's. So thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. I just saw a couple of big moose. We didn't have time to get the camera out, but we're definitely in moose country now, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see one somewhere where we can safely pull over and film it for you. But it was nice to see. There's only one main road across Newfoundland, the Trans-Canada Highway, which spans 928 kilometers or 576 miles, beginning at the ferry landing in Port aux Basques, where you arrive after crossing the waters from North Sydney, Nova Scotia. Heading north, the highway stretches 214 kilometers to Corner Brook, the island's second largest city. Along the way, you'll encounter the long-range mountains and pass through picturesque towns like Springdale and Grand Falls, Windsor. One notable side trip we took in 2017 with the kids is Route 430, leading north to Grossmoor National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There we hiked on the exposed mantle of the earth, one of only a few places in the world where this is possible. We also took a very windy boat ride deep into the landlocked fjord of Western Brook Pond, which was carved out by glaciers. This stunning fjord with its waterfalls and wildlife is recognized for both its beauty and geological significance. Despite the humble name, the fjord was truly spectacular and reminded us of Milford Sound in New Zealand. Continuing along the highway, we explored quaint fishing villages and rugged coastlines, heading up to St. Anthony and Lanceau Meadows. The kids immersed themselves in the rich Viking history at the archaeological sites uncovered there. To this day, it remains one of their favorite family trips. We We have now traveled southeastward for about 7 hours along the Trans-Canada Highway, and we're stopping for the night near the village of Come By Chance, where we've spotted a dispersed camping area along the tidewaters of Placentia Bay. Beautiful evening. Look at that sunset.
Oh, there's even garbage cans and fire pits. Says no swimming.
Good idea.
What a gorgeous spot after a long day on the road. We're only like 2 hours away from St. John's, Newfoundland. Maybe 2.5 with stopping and getting some diesel. I've always wanted to go to St. John's ever since I moved to Canada, marrying Pete, and that was 26 years ago, so this is a big check mark for me, and I don't believe Pete's been there either. We're just kind of taking a look around here, and then we'll set up camp. It's nice to stretch my legs. So we're all set up and ready for the night. I think Pete just has some offloading, and I'm gonna get out the TRX and do a little bit of a workout. Mainly stretch my lower back, because that's been, yeah, a lot of driving. But I'm just gonna make something super simple, like probably a steak and asparagus and mushrooms, and I call it a night. Now we're gonna head into St. John's, the city, and probably grab something to eat.
While we're downtown, we're gonna see if we can kiss the cod. There's a bit of a ceremony, and if you do it, they go through the entire ceremony. They make you an official Newfoundlander, and we never got to do that last time when we were here, so we're hoping that it'll work out this time. We'll get our papers and be official Newfoundlanders. Well, as it turns out, it was a bit early for that. It seems that the establishments conducting the screeching ceremony don't even open until 4 or 5 p.m. So, we decided to take the opportunity to explore more of the beautiful historic city of St. John's. Our first stop, the colorful Jelly Bean District. Here, the row houses are painted in vibrant hues, earning St. John's its title as the most colorful city in Canada.
It's so cozy to see all the different colors of houses or apartments, buildings. It really brings a lot of life to this area. It's really fun, like a lot more. I thought it was one street, but it's just like almost all the homes around here are all different colors. And that's really, really special to see. And this is really like just cozy. That's the only word I can think of. It's really cozy. So it's been fun driving around. Very colorful, but you know what I mean? Cozy and colorful. And then you go down and there's a harbor right there with all sorts of ships and boats, and oh, it's just a beautiful setting.
We're now heading towards what's called Cape Spear, which is the most easterly point of Canada and of North America. Well, this is the moment we've been waiting for. After starting our journey at the Pacific Ocean in June of this year, we have finally arrived at the easternmost point in Canada.
I don't know if you guys remember, but I found this painted rock on the river's edge when we were in British Columbia, and I thought it was really pretty, but it said if you pick where did you find me, please post me and rehide me. So it's going to be pretty cool. We came all the way out here. It's come a long ways across Canada and now to the most easterly point of Canada here in Newfoundland, and so I thought it'd be fun to just place it somewhere where it can make someone else smile and they can go hide it for someone and make their day as well. So this is a part of that hiking trail. Can't think of the name right now. And then it goes up to the rock where Pete and I were at the very end. So I think along here would be perfect spot for it. I feel kind of sad leaving my rock, but it's all good. I gotta collect one to take home to the cabin, and so this is kind of cool. Wow, the waves are so powerful. Unbelievable. I'm on the hunt for a rock for the cabin.
Cape Spear, perched on the rugged Avalon Peninsula near St. John's, Newfoundland, is the easternmost point in Canada, and the fitting finale to our great Canadian overland adventure. This extraordinary journey has taken us across approximately 12,000 kilometers, traversing all 10 provinces and immersing ourselves in Canada's stunning, diverse landscapes. From the towering peaks of British Columbia to the vast skies of the prairies, the vibrant cities, and the rugged Atlantic coastline. Every moment has been a profound reminder of the beauty and wonder of this country we are blessed to call home. Standing here watching the relentless waves of the North Atlantic crash against Newfoundland's rocky shores, we are filled with gratitude. This adventure wasn't just about the places we explored, it was about the moments that shaped us and the people who filled those moments with meaning. Along the way, we celebrated the joyous wedding of our daughter, a milestone brimming with love, laughter, and treasured memories. At the same time, we mourned the loss of our beloved nephew Calvin, whose life ended far too soon. His absence serves as a poignant reminder of life's fragility and the importance of cherishing each day and those we hold dear. This journey has been one of contrasts of joy and sorrow, of connection and solitude, of laughter and tears. It has deepened our appreciation for family, friends, and the simple yet profound beauty that surrounds us daily. The spirit of exploration doesn't end here. It lives on in the memories we've created, the lessons we've learned, and the inspiration to love deeply, live fully, and honor those we have lost along the way. Thank you for being part of our great Canadian overland adventure. Wherever your next journey leads, may it bring you the same wonder, resilience, and love that we found on this road. Well, there's only one thing left to be done here in St. John's. It's time to become an honorary Newfoundlander. The Newfoundland screeching ceremony is a fun and time-honored tradition where you'll recite a few words, sample some Newfoundland steak or bologna, kiss a codfish, taste some Newfoundland screech rum, and of course be proudly declared an honorary Newfoundlander.
How are you, Screechers?
Yes, bye!
Yeah, we're working on it. Now I'm going to get you both to enjoy a bit of Newfoundland steak. Guys, last year us Newfoundlanders, actually every year, we managed to consume 8 million pounds of this stuff every year. We're the highest consumers of this stuff on the planet. That's right, it is one. I bet you can't tell me what animal it's made out of.
No.
All of them.
All of them, yeah.
There you go.
Yes, bye.
Yes, bye.
Cheers. And long may your big jib draw.
Long man. Your big jib draw.
Have you guys got any idea what you just said? Jib is the part that holds up a sail on a ship. So basically what we all just said was, wherever you go, wherever you may travel, may you have a good smooth trip, my buddy. Long may your big jib draw. May you have good sails upon your wind.
Nice. Interesting.
So guys, I got you to eat something, drink something, say something.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Sure.
That's all.
That's what, and Carl,
Yeah.
you're cut off. Congrats, guys.
Thank you so much.